big poppin'. Money in the bank, coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank, coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what the topic.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. It's your favorite goss and doc tender, that girl Henny. And today we are going to be pouring up on a topic that is not one that I usually cover, which is things that are going on in my hometown. Now, if you're new here, for my YouTube family, please be sure to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. And welcome to you. Be sure to hit that like button. And to all of my returning Mob Down Henny Gang members, we gonna pour this up. So what are we pouring up on tonight, Henny? What we are pouring up on is Afrika Bambaataa's passing. Now, if you don't know who Afrika Bambaataa is, let me just go ahead and let me play the video of who Afrika Bambaataa is for y'all. Hold on one second. And a lot of you will probably know because I was talking about this on my, where was I at? I was on my TikTok live and I was talking about what was going on with this situation because Afrika Bambaataa has passed away. Now, I'm not going to play the music because I do plan on putting this over there on the YouTuber, but I am going to go ahead and show y'all the visual because a lot of y'all may remember this song from when you were roller skating or just from growing up. Like you may remember this song. But Afrika Bambaataa, I'm not going to say that, legendary, I'm not going to do all of that. I'll say he was a pioneer. He was a pioneer in hip hop. And the reason why I'm not going to give him the legendary status is because of the allegations that have come out against him. Now, what has been alleged is that Afrika Bambaataa was touching teacup humans, M-wording them, and it's more than one person who has come out and said something, but the person who has been the loudest and the one who gets the most recognition for being the person who blew the whistle on all of this is Hassan Campbell. Now, Hassan Campbell is another YouTuber who has been out here in these YouTube streets since, like, I want to say the mid 2000s, maybe. In 2016, he came out and made allegations. He spoke to the Daily News in New York, which is a newspaper there, if you don't know, and he spoke about it to them. Now, since then, Hassan has been on an up and down roller coaster. It's not clear where he stands with a lot of things. There's a lot of questionable things that he has said, like he has claimed, he still loves that man, XYZ, XYZ. So when he's gotten into beefs with people, people have brought this up, and his name has forever been attached to and hitched onto Afrika Bambaataa's name. So when he passed, when the news of Afrika Bambaataa's passing came yesterday, which he passed away from complications with cancer, a lot of people were looking to see what Hassan Campbell had to say. Well, yesterday, there was a video that came out early in the day, and it was of Hassan Campbell, and he was wishing him, saying to him, rest in peace, even though it was not really one of those emotional, like, rest in peace that you would give to a loved one. Instead, it was more like a rest in peace to the world's most greatest child predator, XYZ, XYZ. And of course, he caught some controversy for this because people were wondering, like, how do you wish somebody who did horrible things to you by your own words a rest in peace? But I'm going to let you guys hear it for yourself and let y'all decide about this one.
I just want to take the time out to say rest in peace to the greatest child predator who ever walked this earth. Afrika Bambaataa. Before there was an Epstein list, there was an Afrika Bambaataa's Black Book. I just want to take the time.
So that is a portion of what was said, and this was highlighted by a lot of YouTubers for him saying rest in peace to the person who was not only a child predator, but a predator to him as well, who caused him a lot of harm, like I said, in his own words. Now, I watched a lot of people's commentary on this. I watched Zip with the Drip, who's another New York YouTuber. Shout out to Zip. I've watched 10 Toes Down. Shout out to 10 Toes Down. And we're actually going to be reviewing 10 Toes Down's commentary on this situation because I liked what he had to say. And there's been a lot of people that have spoken out. There's been Star from Star and Buck Wilds. He spoke out about this. A lot of people, Willie D. Everyone has had something to say. Fat Joe, they're talking about the allegations. And the thing is, what saddens me the most about this is there have been more than just Hassan Campbell who came out. There were more gentlemen. I am going to get into that. I'm probably going to do a video on it on YouTube. So make sure you guys are subscribed over there to Official That Girl Henny on YouTube. Hold on one second. Official That Girl Henny on Twitch. Okay, so now we're going to mute them over there so that they can get their tails over here if they want to know what we're talking about. So, because I'm over on IG Live, but I need people to come from IG Live over here. Anywho, back to what we was talking about. So there have been other men, but Hassan is the most famously known one. Again, make sure that you're following me on YouTube because I'm going to kind of do a semi-deep dive on it and do the Henny to it. But anyway, as I was saying, Hassan has, the thing that has been the most upsetting about all of this is that this was something that was known in the hip hop community. Because according to Melly Mel, who is another legendary hip hop artist, I'll call him legendary, but I'm going to say pioneer as well because I'm not sure how I feel. It left a bad taste in my mouth to hear Melly Mel say this when Vlad questioned him about African Bambaataa.
I mean, when you fast forward years later, when you hear about the accusations of Bambaataa, about the molestation charges and everything else like that, what's your take on that?
Well, I mean, it's not like people didn't know, or it's not like it was something that was unknown. In other words, but it was just really something that was like, maybe hip hop's best kept secret or whatever,
Something that was known but was hip-hop's best kept secret is very diabolical.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you knew, and you saying everyone pretty much knew that Afrika Bambaataa was gay.
It is what it is. I mean, you got people that would deny it. You got people that would say they don't know. I'm saying everybody knew it, so it was all right there. So, I mean,
Well,
everybody knew. It was all right there. And with Melly Mel coming out and saying, this is why I said, I don't know if I want to say legendary or not, because if you knew and you're saying that people knew, y'all never spoke up, y'all never said anything. Chat, how do y'all feel about that? Is that bogus or nah? Like, for them to say, like, Miss Hope, I'm with you. That's sad. That's very sad. Hey, what's up to everybody popping into the Twitch bar? How does everybody know and nobody do anything about it? And you see, it kind of caught Vlad off guard too, because that was not the answer he was expecting.
I mean, being gay is especially these days, is perfectly acceptable, not a big deal. But messing with underage boys is something completely different.
Well, you see that part about it, you would have to interview him because our whole thing and my whole thing is like I said, is everybody knew, It ain't like it wasn't like it was a mystery. Well, it was, that's Bam. So
Now that's crazy work because he's just like, just shrugging it off like everybody knew that's just Bam. That's Bam. That's what Bam do. That's how Bam is. And you're absolutely right, Mama Zay. Give me a second because I'm gonna get to your comment. And it's crazy that you bring Diddy up because this reminds me a lot of that. It's like the best kept secret, right? So it's the same with Diddy, the same with Kelly. Exactly. So that's where we are with that right now. But like I said, I liked the way that 10 Toes gave his breakdown on that. So shout out to 10 Toes, because we're going to get into his video and I'm going to kind of like incorporate some things along with the review of his channel. So let's get into 10 Toes video. Hold on. You know, I got to get my screen how I like my screen so that we can get into all of this hot Henny. Shout out to everybody that is here. If you would like a commercial-free experience, you can subscribe to the channel. You will also do so through your Amazon Prime. Now, this is 10 Toes Down's video. So on YouTube, be sure y'all go over there and y'all subscribe to his channel. And make sure you tell him that official That Girl Henny sent you.
So everybody can say their final goodbyes. As if that nigga ain't do enough the Bronx River. At the end of the day, I'm the same dude that went the Bronx River, teary-eyed, throwing a tantrum for that same community to hear my voice. And stood outside until the shooters came and got shot.
I did it again. I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. I did not hit the mute button on top of my mic. Y'all know I got to do this at least once every live. So what I was saying was, in the beginning of this video, I gave an introduction and I had explained to everybody that I was watching Hassan Campbell up until the incident happened, where he was in the Bronx River Projects and he was out there screaming and hooping and hollering. And he said, until the shooters came. Now, this video that is playing with no sound is the video of Hassan Campbell out there in the Bronx River Projects in the Bronx, New York. Now, he was out there telling everybody that they were protecting a predator, which would be Afrika Bambaataa. Hassan Campbell lived in the Bronx River Projects. Afrika Bambaataa was from the Bronx River Projects. And this is where a lot of the alleged predatory behavior happened. So Hassan is out there early in the morning. It's morning time, okay? And he's screaming and he's talking about y'all allowed all of this to happen. Y'all are protecting a predator. And people started throwing glass bottles out the window at him. Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit so we could get to some of this, what he was saying. And I was saying that Hassan was acting like a super thug, like hyper overly masculine for me. And y'all are going to see a little bit of what I was talking about in this video.
Army gonna come out this motherfucker. Don't hide in the house. Come outside. Come outside with the shooters. What up, though? What up, though? Fuck.
I'm trying to get to the part where
Cassie?
There's a bottle.
All y'all care about Cassie?
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere. Come outside. Don't throw a fucking bottle. You faggot ass.
That's another glass
Come
bottle.
outside. Throw a bottle while I'm outside. Throw a bottle while I'm outside. I'm not running nowhere. Come outside, you faggot ass nigga.
So now there's another part where a bottle like almost hits him.
Fuck me. Keep on playing. It's my building. I wish y'all niggas would. I wish you niggas would. Keep on. When I catch that window and that floor, I know the floors and I know the window. When I catch it, I'm not even looking up. When I catch it, your mother gonna get thrown down a flight of steps, you broke ass nigga. And every nigga in my army gonna stomp that bitch down a flight of steps. The fuck y'all playing with? Who y'all playing with? I look like I'm running.
There, right there. Did y'all see? That bottle almost hit his ass. That bottle almost hit his ass. Now, we fast forward in just a little bit because there's more glass bottles that get thrown out the window at him. But at this point, where this guy is in the back of the video, Hassan grabs his phone And it's when he grabs his phone is when he allegedly gets popped in the arm. Now, this video, this live was really controversial because a lot of people have said that they believed that he staged it. And they said they believe that he staged it because, number one, he never showed the windows where people was throwing stuff at him. Number two, it just so happens that when he took the camera down, that's when he got popped in the arm. Number three, he was popped in the fat, fleshy part of his arm, like up in here where the fleshy part is. And it was, I don't know, it was like a small little caliber or whatever. So people were speculating and saying that he had his people do that for clicks, likes, and views. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the rumor that was going around, that allegedly, you know, he did that to himself to get attention, because he was crashing out first thing in the morning in the projects, expecting nothing to happen to him or whatever. That's the rumors. I'm telling y'all what they said. They said it. I heard it. And I saw them when they said it. So I'm just repeating to you what they said. Period. But now, fast forward to today, you have 10 Toes Down, which is somebody that Hassan Campbell has beefed with in the past. And he brought up some very interesting points. So let's get back to what 10 Toes had to say about Hassan Campbell. Y'all ready?
When did black men think that anything was funny? I've never seen a dude in jail get his manhood and the niggas is in their cell laughing. I can't completely close this chapter.
Yes, that is the other word. Summer, you are actually correct. She said the word on the YouTube streets is he is police. Now, I will also say that he was with Wack at one point in time, and him and Wack fell out. So then there's that. Shout out to everybody that's here. Chat. W's in the chat for the chat. W chat.
Because there's still people that's looking for healing, and I'm always going to be there for them.
And after all that being said, we must admit that it was alleged that Afrika Bambaataa committed all of these heinous sexual crimes.
Now, I don't know why he still got that music playing in the background or whatever, but that's 10 Toes Down. But now let's hear some of the things that Hassan Campbell has said.
It's a cold world, even when it's hot outside. How 50 said in that movie, get rich or die trying, show no love, because love will get you killed. Love don't live here. A lot of people want to know what's going through my mind. How do I feel? How do you tell a man to rest in peace when he still got victims living their worst nightmare? You ever had somebody violate you so bad that you can't even remember the details of what he did because you done blacked out? Because of the hurtful pain, the hurtful thoughts, the hurtful memories? How do you tell a nigga to rest in peace that got people walking in misery?
The question that everybody has is, how do you do that?
I'm out to say rest in peace to the greatest child predator who ever walked this earth, Afrika Bambaataa. Before there was an Epstein list, there was an Afrika Bambaataa's Black Book.
So how do you say rest in peace to somebody? You just did. But now you've heard, I haven't gotten into exactly all that he has alleged, but I felt like that was graphic enough for you to know what the allegations are that he has put out there and how traumatizing he said they have been. And yes, I'm saying he said. Yes, I'm saying he said. Why aren't you commenting over there? Because I'm about to end this live. I am. I'm about to end this live, so you might as well comment over on the Twitch bar. All right, so now let's get back into 10 Toes Down, breaking this down.
We must say allegedly. And he was never convicted or tried on any of these things. He denied every last one of them. Now, I'm not saying he was guilty or not guilty of it, but we have one voice who is Hassan Campbell, who has been speaking out for years of what this man has done.
And this is true because Hassan Campbell, like I told y'all in the beginning of this, started speaking out to the Daily News. Okay. That was the first time that he spoke out, as far as I can recall, because again, like 10 Toes said, this has been going on for years. Not 4 years, but for years. Okay. So here is the Daily News, which is the New York newspaper for those who don't know, where it says exclusive hip hop legend Afrika Bambaataa accused of sexual abuse by 3 more men. He is a pervert. He likes little boys. Okay. And this article was published April 16, 2016. All right. So it says, Afrika Bambaataa was not just a hip hop star when Hassan Campbell began hanging out at his Bronx apartment during the late 80s. He was also a father figure. When Campbell was hungry, Bambaataa gave him a meal. When Campbell needed a place to stay because of troubles at home, Bambaataa gave him a bed. When Campbell needed money, Bambaataa gave him cash. He had the most fun house in the world, recalled Campbell, 39. So he was 39 in 2016. There were celebrities, there musicians, neighborhood heroes. It was the best place to be and the worst place to be. It was the worst place to be because Bambaataa sexually abused him numerous times when he was 12 and 13 years old. Campbell told Daily News he's a pervert, Campbell added. He likes little boys. Okay, so it goes on to say that Campbell and several other men told the news last week that they were sexually abused by Bambaataa, the South Bronx hip hop pioneer, whose 1982 hit Planet Rock helped turn rap music into an international phenomenon. The men stepped forward after the news published a story last Sunday about former music industry executive and Democratic Party activist Ronald Savage, who claims Bambaataa abused him at least 5 times in 1980, inflicting deep emotional wounds. All right. It says, quote, "I know what Ronald Savage is saying is true because he did it to me," said a 50-year-old New York man who requested anonymity. I hope I said that right, but he wants to remain anonymous. Quote, "I have never spoken to anybody about this. And when I did, I said, holy Schmidt, they finally caught up to him." All right. Savage is happy others are willing to back his claims. He said he wants to keep talking about his experience to pressure state lawmakers to reform New York's statute of limitation for sexual abuse cases, which bars child victims from pursuing criminal charges or civil litigation after their 23rd birthday. Savage says the support of the Child Victim Act, the bill by Assemblywoman Margaret Markey, that would eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual abuse cases and open up a 1-year window for older victims to pursue litigation. He also supports a bill sponsored by Senator Minority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins, Democrat from Yonkers. Shout out to Yonkers. Okay. Senator Bradley Holyman, a Democrat from Manhattan, that would also remove a 90-day window required to file a notice of claim, this first step in a lawsuit against public or government entity. The Catholic Church has long argued that the 90-day requirement for public entities was unfair for private institutions. Okay, so that's it went a little further, but this was the news article where Hassan Campbell came out and spoke. Okay, that this was the first one. That's another gentleman. There's Hassan Campbell again, and there is Afrika Bambaataa. So what 10 Toes is saying is actually, you know, it's backed up by public record.
You may have heard little whispers in the background of Bambaataa's behavior, but this man was the spokesman. He was the voice. He was the one who was able to go to court and say, do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth? He was able to do that. He had the opportunity. There was a window of opportunity. There was a time when I sat down with that guy and I said, I have a lawyer on the phone. All he wants to do is speak to you because it sounds like you have a very good, strong case. And if you can't bring him up on charges of what he did to you sexually, after all of these years, you can put in a civil suit. You can go after money. And this guy, Hassan, told me that I can't talk right now because I'm getting my door fixed in my house.
So 10 Toes Down, like I told you, they've had their feud back and forth. But 10 Toes Down said, listen, I'm going to put my beef with you to the side and I'm going to step forward because this is foul. And so he had a lawyer ready to help Hassan, ready to help him go after him criminally or civilly, whichever way he could go after him, for him to seek justice. And Hassan brushed it off and said, I can't talk right now because somebody's fixing my door. It's the stuff like that. It's comments that he made about him loving Afrika Bambaataa. It's those types of things. But again, you know what this comes into play and reminds me of? It reminds me of Stockholm Syndrome. If this boy was programmed at 12, 13 years old, that program is embedded in him. Especially with him feeling like this person was supposed to be someone that was looking out for him, supposed to be like a father figure to him. But he's had a lot of confusion that has gone on, that had people look at things sideways when it came down to him because of the conflicting actions of him. Because I do agree. I'm sorry. I do agree as a survivor myself. If I hadn't gone through the process that I've gone through to heal mentally, emotionally, somewhat physically, because you never really can physically heal from that type of a thing. But all of the work that has had to go in to healing myself, if I wasn't healed and I really thought that filing the charges against the persons who did things to me would have brought me closure, I would have went for it. But I felt like I did all of the work to heal myself and I didn't want to pull those wounds back open. So for me, I wasn't trying to go after anybody, but if I felt like that's what I needed for closure, I would have went through that damn window. You damn right. You damn right. I would have went through that window. And for me, I say that because he's crashed out online. He's been unstable online. We've watched it. If you've watched him, you've watched it. I see there's a couple of y'all in here that have watched it, like the Real Mahogany, Summer D. She's watched it. So I found that very interesting when 10 Toes Down says, look, I had a lawyer for him and everything ready to go. And he wouldn't do it.
Call me back. I called him back. He would not answer that phone. So I spoke with the lawyer. The video's out. Everybody knows what 10 Toes Down did. I put all of this shit aside of what me and him went through, what I wanted to bring justice. I wanted to see justice. Me and Sonetta went downtown. Talk back to me. I'm talking to you. We went downtown to NBC, CBS, and we stood outside with the cameras set up, waiting for Afrika Bambaataa to come in there to do that interview. Because we wanted to question him. We wanted to challenge him. We wanted to know what the fuck is going on. He was the voice and spoke for all victims. But then in the next sentence, this is the same guy who was talking about running inside of a man's house and raping all of the children.
It's statements like that.
He said that he went to Bronx River and he got shot. Teary-eyed, like it was in the name of what Bambaataa did to him. But it was to go over there to prove to everybody in the projects that he was a thug and he was a gangster and he was standing on business while they threw bottles at him. Yeah, and he got shot and he rushed his way to the hospital. And he posed and showed y'all the bullet wound and the bullet, and he made videos and he began to make mockery of the seriousness of violence and people who have been victimized.
And I agree with that, because that's exactly how it started looking to me after that whole Bronx River situation. I was looking at him like, you're using this for clicks, likes, and views. That's how it started coming off to me. So again, when I'm hearing 10 Toes Down give his side of things and how he saw the situation and the way he's viewing it is the way I was viewing it way back then. Oh, I was like, yeah, I'm about to review this video. I'm about to review this because I could resonate.
This is the same guy who you people support that told you that he touched children. When did it stop? It never stopped. This is the same guy who was the scouter. He went out for Bambaataa to get other kids. This is a proven fact. Okay, 10. Well, maybe his mind, he was brainwashed. Maybe Bambaataa had, okay, let's say he did. Wouldn't you think that after you become of age, when you become a street thug, gangster, a legend that you kill people in the name of street justice, you kill.
I don't know about all of that, because what I will tell you is I did a poll on Hassan Campbell and not everything that he said came back to be accurate, but I'm not sure about that. But again, I'll be doing a video on this.
People in the name of violence. You went to jail for bodies. What you think?
Uh-oh. Oh no, I closed the wrong window. Sorry guys, I'm coming. How doing? I coming. I closed the wrong window. Okay, so now question. 6ix9ine goes off. Academics, Gucci Mane, Pooh Shiesty, Afrika Bambaataa, and more. Hassan Campbell is live right now. We not going in there. We not going in there, Bookie Butts. You know why we not going in there? Because it already looked like he crashing out. He's crashing out. Where are you, 10 Toes? Oh, he right here. He right here. He right here. We ain't got to start over. Oh, man, yes, we do. Hold up. Okay. Okay. I got it. I got it. We back. We back. We back. We back like we messed it up and had to cook it up again and bring it back. Okay, we back. Bang. Bang. What? Okay, so if you're feeling what 10 Toes is saying right now, put W 10 Toes in the chat, because he's making all the sense in the world to me.
Of the seriousness of violence and people who have been victimized.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same guy who you people support that told you that he touched children.
Yes.
When did it stop? It never stopped. This is the same guy who was the scouter. He went out for Bambaataa to get other kids. This is a proven fact. Okay, 10. Well, maybe his mind, he was brainwashed. Maybe Bambaataa had, okay, let's say he did. Wouldn't you think that after you become of age, when you become a street thug, gangster, a legend that you kill people in the name of street justice, you kill people in the name of violence, you went to jail for bodies, wouldn't you think that this murderer, serial killer would say, oh, wouldn't you remember what this guy did, that you're going to go and get him?
I don't mean to laugh, but I can't take him seriously right now. So what he's talking about, y'all, is that Hassan had did an interview with Math Hoffa. Now, Math Hoffa, he's from the whole era of battle rap. And he's got, you know, the barbershop where he's got the celebs that come in and they sit down and they have a conversation with him, right? Well, there was a conversation that was being had one time. And what had happened was he asked Hassan Campbell about this very thing, about what age did he stop unwantingly touching teacup humans, because he said he had started doing that himself. This is why I said this story got a lot of twists and turns. Story got a lot of twists and turns to it. But let's hear what he had to say, shall we? Oh, hold on. It's muted. Hold on.
You try. Though a lot of people like study pedophilia. Though a lot of people like study pedophilia. It's like, listen to me. Study pedophilia.
You treading on dangerous waters. Now I gotta ask you.
Listen to me.
I have to ask you.
Definitely.
As a victim of that. Were you ever pushed in that direction?
When I was a kid, I'm gonna say this again because I said this. I was mimicking what was done to me. Children, I was touching.
Wow.
As a child, I was touching other children. Now, this is where the videos was manipulated on the internet, and they start playing with the videos. As a child, yes, because I was touched at an early age, and it was continuously touching. I went on to touch other children.
That's what.
Yes, you heard him correctly. You heard him correctly. You did hear him correctly. He said when he was younger, he was touched, and he went on to do that to other people as a child, which is not uncommon, and I'm not brushing it off. It's not uncommon. I've heard that before. But is this the video? Yeah, this is the video. Okay. He said that in this video, in this interview with Vlad.
Upbringing as dysfunctional.
Very.
Explain.
I mean, I grew up like, I don't even know where to start. Being that my mother grew up in a dysfunctional home where her sisters was living with a child predator, her and her sisters had to go through the same thing I went through. It just trickled down. You know, I don't know if that's the family curse, but her stepfather was an Afrika Bambaataa. You know, he was the same type of person. So, you know, me growing up, I went through similar situations.
Exactly. Generational. His mother went through it. He went through it.
since I could go back to like the age of 5, going through multiple different people molesting me before Afrika Bambaataa. So before,
Okay, so how old were you when you first got molested?
probably about 4 or 5 years old, young.
By who?
Yeah, it started off with a female that my mother had babysitting me.
4 or 5 years old was the first time.
Okay. You're 5 years old, man. That's a baby.
Yeah, so
You don't even know how to read at 5 years old.
I was molested by multiple people. It was a stair, it was just stair steps, and then Afrika Bambaataa. He wasn't the first one. He was just the oldest one and the one with the most influence over the community. He was a pillar.
So from 5, and then he says Afrika Bambaataa was 12 and 13. So from 5 all the way up through, he's alleging that he was, and I'm saying alleged because I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. Okay. And I'm not somebody who's going to say somebody is not telling the truth or whatever. Not my job, not my place. But that's what he's alleging.
Okay, so leading up to Bambaataa, was it, you mentioned it was a female. Was it females and males or just females before that?
Females and one male.
Okay.
But see, the thing about it is with the male that I went through the experience with, he was still a child himself.
Okay.
So there you have that. Mama Zay says, when I worked at DJJ and I worked with juvenile ex-offenders, the youngest child in there was 8. Wow. The Real Mahogany said he also said that he wasn't the first one. No, he was not. Miss Hope says the Bronx was definitely a different kind of place in the 80s. The Bronx was definitely wild, wild west in the 80s, for real. That's when you had the landlords burning down the apartment buildings for money. The Bronx was the slums, like for real in the 80s. And that's not a knock, not a dig, not a nothing, but it was full of rubble, burnt down buildings, like crackheads, dope fiends. Like the Bronx was the wild, wild west in the 80s. For real. She said, I don't believe that they were all kids. No, he just said that the young man who first touched him was also a child himself. All right, so now let's get back to the math half of it all, and then we'll get back to the 10 toes of it all.
What you thought was normal. When did you stop?
When did I stop touching other children?
Yes.
Like, as a child, I touched children, but as I got older, I had girlfriends. So it switched over into me having girlfriends.
Right.
But as a child, I was touching other children.
You remember about what age the girlfriends kicked in?
The girlfriends, I was having girlfriends. I guess I started having girlfriends. If that's the case, if my uncle came over, let's say with Darshan, and Darshan might have been a year younger than me or whatever the case may be, we was playing house. As a matter of fact, I told the story before. Darshan, me and Darshan was behind the curtains, touching each other. Girl comes in and pulls the curtains. She blows the whole scene up. I gets beat with a extension cord. Darshan gets beat. And I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, like, why she tell on me? She was the first one to molest me.
Wow.
And there was times where my moms and them was having card games. Like with all of us playing spades, they're gambling in the kitchen. And she had me in the toilet in the bathroom. And it was like when you a certain age, a vagina is the most disgusting thing.
Right.
He never says what age.
When you go, talk back to me. I'm talking to you.
Oh, we talking to you too.
Him? The one who did this? No, but then again, Bambaataa was caught allegedly molesting another kid.
Mm-hmm.
The kid woke up and stabbed him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I remember hearing this story.
yeah, he stabbed Bambaataa and ran out the house. Hassan went to the hospital in support of Bambaataa and told Bambaataa, I'm going to kill that. It ain't even allegedly. This is what he said he was going to do. He was out there looking for the kid that stabbed Bambaataa.
That's a fact.
He was a protector for Bambaataa. He was a supporter for Bambaataa.
That's a fact. That's not fiction. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Y'all could go ahead and believe everything y'all want. Y'all could go ahead and trust in this guy saying he was a victim and it was a relationship. This guy came out to Captain Tazaria and to Sonetta TV and all of these people and had them backing him up because the Zulu Nation was going to kill him. So the conscious community stood behind him.
This is facts.
And the Zulu Nation knew they couldn't go against the conscious community because it would bring too much heat. Then it's going to be.
He's speaking facts right now. Now, see, I done walked y'all all the way up and through. And I gave a clear path to everything that was going on. But this is where the turn comes in. So y'all pay attention. Y'all should know, Henny, you know, we pouring this up. You hear me?
A lot of murder. There's going to be a lot of people going to jail. So they fell back and said, let them run with the story. No one is going to believe them. Matter of fact, they did something better. They said, okay, here's the court. It's open for you. Go to court and prove it. The judge gave him a come in here, Hassan. Come here. You can tell me what happened. And he no, because I love that man.
He did say he loved that man. And what he's talking about is that window of the Adult Victims Act that was opened up. Y'all remember that? Because that's how all these Diddy cases started coming into play, because New York opened that window for the Adult Survivors Act. Remember that window? That's the window that I was saying that if I felt like I needed to go through that window to get the closure that I needed to get, I would have went through that window. But see, the only other thing about that is I don't even want to get into me. We're not going to get into me. I said enough about me on this internet anyway. But if I felt it would have brought closure, I would have went through that window. He ain't go through the window, y'all. So 10 Toes done got him a lawyer that was willing to work with him. Then the window opened up and he ain't go through it. Bambaataa gets stabbed trying to touch on another boy. The boy wake up and he trying to touch on him. The boy stabs him. And Hassan says he's going to go unalive the boy who stabbed Bambaataa. He got online and said he loves him. So for me, in my mind, and y'all tell me if I'm correct on my way of thinking about this whole situation, watching when he came out and he crashed out and all of this stuff, and then I stopped watching and started peeking here and there. What 10 Toes is saying, for me, it sounds very much accurate, because 10 Toes is saying at this point, it was a relationship. So it's possible that it started out as an M-word situation, but at some point in time, it sounded like it developed into some kind of a relationship. Now, the other guy that I'm not playing right now, Zip with the Drip, was talking about, and it's true, Hassan was down there in Pennsylvania. Guess who lives in Pennsylvania, y'all? Afrika Bambaataa lived in Pennsylvania, and Hassan would be seen down there in Pennsylvania too. yes, it could be Stockholm syndrome. What I also feel is that man is conflicted within himself. He don't know if he's straight by, up, down, right, left, coming or going. And it's not like we haven't heard of. It's not like we haven't heard of victims falling in love with their predators. We've heard it. People get kidnapped. They get raped by the person who kidnapped them. All of a sudden, they in this Stockholm syndrome relationship, and they having kids and having babies with them and all types of stuff, and living a normal functioning life with them, and they love them. They love them. And I think that's what's going on with Hassan.
What are we doing here? This is how we're going to treat the next victim? This is how we're going to treat the next father, uncle, aunt, niece, nephew? This is how we're going to treat them and allow these people to continue to get away with it? Yeah, Bambaataa took that shit to the grave. Now you can guarantee that people are going to start coming out. Rappers is going to come on with the. Don't want to hear it now.
Facts.
It's too late, buddy.
Facts.
When R. Kelly did what he did, he was convicted.
Facts.
Tried. Bill Cosby did what he did, convicted, tried. Epstein did what he did. P. Diddy did what he did. When all of these people did what they did.
Come on.
When Bambaataa was allegedly one of the biggest
Come on.
child predators. And nothing never happened.
Nothing.
All because of what? This guy wanted to protect him. The same way Hassan had went back to Bronx River that day, Afrika Bambaataa went back to Bronx River live. Stood in front of the same building Hassan was in front of, saying, I'm Afrika Bambaataa, I'm outside, I'm in Bronx River. Nope.
Y'all want to see that video? Because I'll pull that video up for y'all.
Nobody threw a bottle at him.
Nope.
Nobody screamed at him, threw a shot at him.
Nope.
Nobody did nothing.
Nothing.
But it's so many victims. All of these victims are grown men now. Nobody did nothing.
Right.
Nobody even yelled, shut up, nigga. Nobody said nothing.
Nothing.
Bambaataa been walking around free. Bambaataa, Hassan Campbell knew Bambaataa's address and every move that he made. But he didn't speak out against it. He didn't come forth. It means nothing. It means nothing if you don't say something. See, I look at it a different way. People may say, well, Ken, Hassan does have some mental issues. He does go through a lot. You know, you see him on live drinking and he's on medication and he needs the help. He just don't want to get the help. He cries. He goes through all of these emotional upset. Maybe he went through something, Ken. Why are you shooting him down? Well, how about this? How about he's up there crying and drinking and taking medication and going through all of this mental ups and downs because of what he did?
Now that was a thing that made me go, well, things that make you go, Y'all know I don't know how to sing. But y'all said y'all want to see Afrika Bambaataa in Bronx River Projects. Here y'all go. Right here. In Bronx River at night. Your browser has lost connection. Hold up. Wait. Okay, let's do this. I've been doing too much flipping and floppity, flippity floppity, back and forth. Hold on. If y'all can't hear the audio, let me know, okay?
This is the place where Disco King Mario.
Can y'all hear the audio? to the video? I'm gonna play a little bit more. Oh, y'all can? All right.
Afrika Bambaataa used to give a lot of their jams for the people, by the people, for all of Southeast Bronx, Monroe, Castle Hill, Soundview, Sac Warren, Bronx River, all the places. We used to have Disco King Mario, Afrika Bambaataa here, Cool DJ D, Tex DJ Hollywood. We used to have Love Buzz Starsky here, Cool DJ AJ. So many people used to come here. We had Cool Clyde and Lightning Lance. We had Kenny Ken from Monroe Project that used to come here and jam the place up. This is true school right here, the pop, called Rosedale Pop, but we want to dub it now Disco King Mario Pop. All right? True school hip-hop culture. Afrika Bambaataa signing out.
Right back at you. You already said Afrika Bambaataa signing out. True hip-hop culture.
So, Afrika Bambaataa, that's a clip of what I could find right now, right now. But I'm going to do this video and I'm going to make sure I find all of the stuff that y'all want to see. Okay? Just bear with your girl. So, he's in those projects. And he was, yes. Finasia said he looked well comfortable and no one did nothing to that man is insane. And that's a whole fact. Now, Hassan was there at the break of dawn. Bambaataa was there at night. People outside at night. People outside in front of the building. People outside sitting on the benches. He walked up in the projects. Ain't nothing happened to him. Crazy work.
And it's eating him up.
You talking about
this is how God works. I know. This is how God works. You might see people who are evil throughout their whole life. They are evil. They touching kids. They might be killing. They might be judging people. They might just be from the slave trade. I mean, you see evilness.
Right.
And then years later, you see them. They can't even eat people, feeding them. They hurt. They can't even think right. They shitting on themselves. They just doing all kind of. You like, oh man, why is this happening to this person? God, because God is going to answer.
And he's right. When we start thinking about the psychosis of it all, and you start thinking about how he was losing his mind and how he be spazzing out and all of that. Listen, that man is on live right now as we speak. I'm telling you, he's on live right now as we speak. And just from, you know how when you glaze over a video, he was on there going, I don't even know. You hear it?
We do. A real nigga from the streets called Snook. That's what he called himself. Now you taking videos of me from years ago. What street nigga goes back and back and back and then remix videos and go get niggas dirty laundry? You're not a street nigga. You a Wendy Williams, my nigga. Get in where you fit in at. You are the next Wendy Williams. Once you decide to play women's games and you conjuring up evidence against niggas, who do that? You don't even realize the niggas like wax dogs that be sending you that shit. You don't realize that he's a federal agent. That nigga's a federale, allegedly, because he moved like one.
So yeah, he's going off because he's catching heat and flack. But we gonna go back over here with the this is how God works type of thing. Let's see what's going on. Let's finish this up. Okay, let's finish this up. We almost finished.
Your call outs You want to keep calling out God. God is going to answer. Okay, you want to keep playing games. Okay, and you're doing it in my name. Okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, yeah, I'm a Muslim. Yeah, Allah and this and that and that. See, because when you look at it, right, when people look at religion, y'all must admit, you might look at Christians, Muslims, and Jews, and you separate the three, right? And when you think about the three, you say Christianity, oh, whatever God they pray to, and Jesus is so loving, is so kind, and it's turn the other cheek, and it's worship, and it's love. And then when you look at the Jews, it's like, okay, it's separation. They're in their own world, but it's love, it's community. You see them all sticking together. But then when you look at Islam, you say, wait a minute, this is a troublesome God. This God ain't playing. Oh, motherfucker gonna be playing it. Dropping bombs. And Allah said, oh, you want to be a Muslim? You want to be a Muslim? Willingly on a sword to the neck. Boom. You're like, oh shit, this God don't play no games.
The thing is, everybody separates it, but it's all the same God. And they forget that God, the Christianity God of the Holy Bible, he's never changed. That is the God that rains down fire and brimstone on your punk arms. That is the same God that said, Abraham, bring me your son and sacrifice him as a burnt offering to me to show your faith. And Abraham brought his son up there and tied his son down and was getting ready to take his son out. And God said, whoa, hold on. Don't harm the child. I have provided you a ram in the bush. And I'm remixing right now just a little bit. I'm paraphrasing the Bible, but the story is true. He basically said, I was just testing you to see where your faith is, and you pass the test, and there's a ram in the bush. Let the child go and go ahead and give me that ram as your burnt offering to me, as your sacrifice. Okay? This is the same God that brought down the instruction for how you were supposed to slaughter the animals and on which side of the altar the blood should run down. Yeah. This is the same God that when the devil said, let me go on over there and let me test Job. Well, matter of fact, he said he was searching high and low, and God said, there's nobody better than my servant Job. You may go over there and you may do whatever you want to him, but you cannot take his life. But I guarantee you he will stay faithful. And he allowed the devil to go over there and take everything and inflict him with disease. And he stayed faithful. Even when everybody was telling him, you crazy. But he stayed faithful, and God blessed him with more than what he lost. The Lord giveth and he taketh away. That is the same God. He never changed. The only thing he did was send his son down here to die for our sins so that we can get chances and mercy and grace. But he never changed. It does not say that he changed. People better stop thinking that God is sweet. That God is nothing to play. He got an army, okay? He's got an archangel named Michael. He's got angels that go to war. So it is all, love and happiness. Well, but boy, oh boy, if you don't know, you better read the Old Testament. I know a lot of people like to stay in the new because they want to know something about King Jesus. But you better read the Old Testament to know about the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. The one who in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and God was the word and is the word. You better read that Old Testament, because he ain't nothing sweet to play with. But let's let 10 Toes finish, because we almost done.
And this is the one who this dude is claiming. You want to claim that one? Okay, so you're going to be held accountable by that one. And that's why a motherfucker mind can't get right. I don't care how much jewelry you put on, all the fly clothes, you can spray all the cologne on you want. You can sit all in front of the camera. You can say, I got this money and my views is this and that. But once you punch that chick and that shit go off, it is chaos. I don't know. You can't sleep right. Your left eye keep jumping. You got a bad ankle. Your knee don't work right. The shit keep clicking. When you sleep, your hip keep moving, and you ain't even, how the fuck is my hip moving on its own? It's this shit going on. Every 30 seconds, your heart rate's boom, 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 and then it's back to normal. What the fuck is going on? You feel like you want to throw up, but then you start crying for no reason. God is going to work on you. Yeah, God gonna work on you. You keep playing and God gonna work. You think God did that to all them other people? God done turned people into pillars of salt.
Facts.
Don't look back or you're gonna turn to salt. Nigga, look back. Nigga, turn to salt for looking back. What do you think God gonna do to you? Huh? What you think God gonna do? You think God gonna play games with you? God gonna let you keep going. Go ahead. God is like the federal government. The feds follow the laws of God. Because the feds will sit back and be like, okay, he done killed 19 people. Go get him now. Nope. Let him kill 10 more. Sell 19 more kilos. Yeah, let him put about 30 more of them people down with him. Yeah, put them all together. Okay, now we go get him. But why you didn't want to get them before? No, because we wanted to round them all up. We wanted to make sure when we go to court, we got a 99.9% rate of convictions.
Shout out really quickly to Coley for the gifts. The 5 get the shout out to Gold Digger for the gift. Shout out to Uniquely for the Unique Pisces for the gift. Shout out to Dimples for the gift as well. I appreciate y'all. Y'all say thank you if you got a gift.
God got 100% rate of convictions.
Facts.
God will convict you.
Facts.
God will shed the light and make the truth think. Do y'all see the? I'm out of here after this. Do y'all see the small little things how God works? And people don't even know that God is working through them.
Facts.
Remember Hassan with the math Hoffa show, and he said, when did you start and stop touching kids? That was a fucking strong question right there. Math don't know that God was working through him. He made him ask that question. And that boy couldn't even answer it. Do you see how many people out here when they be going through shit and it's like, why did this happen to me? Epstein in the cell, nigga can't even take it. This fuck it. P. Diddy thought he was getting away, thought it was got him on camera, kicking this girl, taking the telephone, knocking and dragging all around the hallway. God gonna work through somebody else to get your ass. And now we have Afrika Bambaataa. Oh, but God didn't. You don't know. You don't know what he was going through, what was happening with him. Facts. You don't know how his death was, how painful it was, the suffering. You don't know if it was just like a strong hold on his heart and God was just holding it with thorns. You don't know what that motherfucker, God gonna make me, or maybe God was just massaging his heart because the man didn't do nothing. Maybe God massaged his heart and gave him a welcoming. Dang. Welcome home, my son.
I don't know about that one. I think that one's a stretch.
Stop that goddamn white man in prison. So
well, y'all, let me just say this. 10 Toes, shout out to 10 Toes, okay? Because that was very entertaining and enlightening at the same time. Thank you. Shout out to 10 Toes. But yeah, thank you to everybody who gifted subs. But chat, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about this? Because see, for me, I'm sitting back and I'm just like, I agree with Santos. I wonder how Hassandra feel about Bambaataa death. Well, I kind of went over that. You a little tardy to the party. Hey, Sherb. You a little tardy to the party. But I went over that. And for me, if I had to say what I thought Hassan Campbell was feeling about African Bambaataa's death, I would say that I think that he's feeling conflicted. Because in one video, granted, he said rest in peace to the greatest child predator, but you rest that man in peace. Then you came back and said you had no love for him. Now you on live mad because people are coming at you. But how could you not expect anybody to come at you, come for you, or any of that when you put yourself out there for it to happen? Like Tenso said, you became the spokesperson for Afrika Bambaataa, touched me. And then you started saying weird stuff like you love that man. Then you was ready to unalive somebody who was protecting themselves from having themselves go through what you went through. You was going to unalive the person who poked him up because he was trying to get in his pants. Do you understand? I think Hassan is very much conflicted, and I think he suffers from psychosis. Facts, not fiction. I'm dead serious. I think it's psychosis. He was still buying groceries for his family too. See what I'm saying? And then Zip with the drip, he was talking about how Hassan was down there in Pennsylvania. And it's true. Hassan has been down there in Pennsylvania too. You knew everything that this man was doing, and you did everything except for press charges on him, bring up a civil case or anything against that man. You let that man live. You let that man breathe. You let that man go through life while you were sitting back dealing with your psychosis, unless y'all was still in a relationship with each other. And I mean, the things that people are starting to say, it makes sense when you start going down the rabbit hole of Hassan Campbell. And now he's mad that people are digging up old footage of him and they're coming back and putting pieces together and they're saying things and all of that. Bro, you should have known that was going to happen. That has nothing to do with being a street nigga or none of that. That's a YouTuber. You're mad because your stuff is coming back. People going through your dirty laundry. You put it out there. He attached himself permanently to Afrika Bambaataa. And nobody, at least I'm not saying that nothing happened to him. It didn't happen to him. I'm not saying he lying. I'm not doing none of that. Because I wasn't there, so I don't know. But what I do know is some of your ways and actions after that have been very suspect, sir. And people want to know because you hitched your wagon to his name and you put your dirty laundry out there. People want to know what the fuck went down, what's going on, and how you feeling right now. Right now is your moment. Everybody going to talk about you. Everybody's going to talk about African Bambaataa. People going to go down the rabbit hole of what you did and how we got here and what happened with you and what you put out there, Not what other people dug up and discovered on their own or whatever. You put yourself out there when you went to the Daily News and you put yourself in that article and you put yourself out there when you came on this here internet into the YouTube algorithm and started talking about what was happening to you. You put the spotlight on yourself when you was online crashing out, drunk, doing all of this stuff that you was doing. And now you want to try to control the narrative? You can't control the narrative. The internet is undefeated. And right now, it's lights, camera, action for you. Everybody gonna be talking about you in a minute. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. Right. Right, Miss Hope. Miss Hope said, and what if Hassan victims start to come out? You didn't answer the question to Math Hoffa from what we seen. You said it stopped when you started getting girlfriends, but you never said at what age you had a girlfriend. You just went into telling us about you touching on another kid behind a curtain and getting caught by the person who had touched on you because they told on you, but that person had you in a bathroom during a card game. You talked about how if the person was younger than you, you was playing house with them. But when did you stop was the question. Did you just convert to getting younger women, young girls to be your girlfriend? Did you stop touching kids and then like you're 20, so you're dating a 16-year-old, you're 30, dating a 19-year-old? Like, what we talking about here? Better yet, I got a better question. When did you go to therapy? How long were you in therapy? He got a wife and some kids. And right before African Bambaataa kicked the bucket, he was talking about how he was about to lose everything because he was going through a divorce with his wife. How old is your wife? How old was she when she met? See, the people got questions, and we got questions because you put it out there for us to have questions about. That's it. That's all. Can't get mad now. But anyway, that's going to do it for the Hassan Campbell Afrika Bambaataa